because she was very upset that Meghan announced that she was pregnant. She didn't know it was Archie, but she was pregnant on her wedding day. And that took away a lot of the spotlight from her. And I don't think most people just pass that over and say, oh, well, never mind. I'm very pleased that she's going to have a baby. I think she was very hurt. Fergie was furious. She absolutely was furious and felt that she had spoilt her daughter's very special day.
Angela Levin, Prince Harry's biographer. What is the truth about Harry and Meghan buying a house in Portugal? This came from nowhere.
Yes, it did, didn't it? Well, I'm not convinced that it's going to go through. I think they often do this. We've heard that Meghan and Harry were going to move all over America over the last couple of years, and they just don't do it, and they haven't had it. I think it's one of their things that they want to get a bit of attention, which they certainly have. However, on the other hand, maybe this is a clever, cunning way of getting into Europe and enabling them to play royals in more different ways. They can have more engagements. They can pretend they're king and queen all over the place. And I don't think you're showing me a lovely picture of sand and sea, but they've got sand and sea very near their home. So it's not that they're lacking that. Another thing is that they want to get close with Eugenie and Jack. Jack works there.
And that's Jack
and
Brooksbank, who is
yes,
Eugenie's
yes,
husband.
husband Jack, and they are very close to her. I mean, in Spare, Harry said that Meghan and Eugenie were like sisters, but I don't think that's right because she was very upset that Meghan announced that she was pregnant. She didn't know it was Archie, but she was pregnant on her wedding day. And that took away a lot of the spotlight from her. And I don't think most people just pass that over and say, oh, well, never mind. I'm very pleased that she's going to have a baby. I think she was very hurt. Fergie was furious. She absolutely was furious and felt that she had spoilt her daughter's very special day. But I don't really know exactly about that. But then the question then is, are they after sort of leaking? Are they after little bits of information about the royals and what's going on through Eugenie in their general chatting that they can sell, that they can use, that they can
It's that little connection still, isn't it?
Yes, yes. Well, usually is a very friendly person, but the good thing is she's very keen on her mother, and she's very keen on the royal family, on the king and queen. And I don't know that she would want to actually leak anything, and that she would have to be quite careful. I mean, the good thing about it is they've both got children of similar ages, two each. But I think that there's much more to it, and it's either a sort of nonsense, or they're doing it because they want to become closer to the UK and be able to do more royal type
Yeah.
things.
Well, look,
Meghan won't,
oh, sorry, Angela, you finish your point.
yeah, Meghan doesn't want to come into the UK. She hates it. So she'd just be nearby, and it's not so far away, but it's still a long way to fly. I think it's at least 12 hours. I'm not quite sure,
Yes,
but and
from
if you've
LA.
got two small children, that's very, very difficult for them. So it's not going to be easy. And when are they going to go to school? Is this just going to be in the summer holidays or Christmas time when it be cold and wet? But it doesn't sound right to me. But then this might be their desperation to sort of be close and carry on trying to be king and queen.
Yeah, no, I think you're completely right. So lots to pick up on there. Just quickly before we get to the bigger point, I think the Eugenie situation is complicated, isn't it? Because definitely at one point, I know for sure that Eugenie was absolutely livid and disgusted with Harry and Meghan, just like all of the other cousins were. But I think the difference compared to the other cousins is that there has been a little bit of a thawing of the ice, because it's good for them to have some type of connection. That's what Eugenie thinks anyway, especially because she obviously doesn't want Harry and Meghan to be slagging off her father, Prince Andrew. So that's the Eugenie situation. But I think you're completely right. This is all about setting up a rival royal base in Europe, which is also close to Africa. Meghan has put her foot down, of course, and said she won't come to the UK. Harry has said that he won't allow her in the UK when she doesn't have proper security. So they want a base that is close by. Portugal's the trendy place to be. And they do have plans to be rival royals. Now, whether they actually end up there, who knows? But I think that's what this is about. Not for them to spend huge amounts of time in Europe, but to have a base in Europe outside of London, which is connected much more to Africa in terms of travel time.
Yes. Yes, I'm sure that's right. But if we follow the idea that Tina Brown has, they're going to make a mess of that too, aren't they?
Of course, because Tina Brown, says Meghan's total crap. All of her ideas are completely rubbish, and Harry's just so naive because he follows Meghan. And they are attention seeking at the moment, Angela. I mean, I had to show you this video. I'm sure some people thought it was charming, but I just thought, Harry, you're 40 years old now and you're showing off to the world in a surfing video to make you look really cool.
I know the surfing.
Yeah, and I mean, Angela, by the way, it doesn't even look like this, because when you actually look at what it is, it's like in an amusement park. But, I know personally, I just find these antics from him tiresome now. It's like, you're not some cheeky chappy, Harry. You're a nasty guy. You're a nasty guy who slagged off your father. You're a nasty guy who slagged off your brother. I don't look at these things and think, oh, this is cute. This is the guy who we used to love. I look at these things and think, oh, you're an embarrassment. You're a 40-year-old embarrassment.
Well, he isn't a 40-year-old embarrassment. I mean, he's also somebody who says he hates photographers taking his picture, because every time there's a click on their camera, it makes him think of his late mother, Diana. And so, this is a nonsense as well. Who wants to see him? And it's not in the sea, it's on a sort of written river that actually is there for teaching people.
Yeah.
Yes, and the wave is sort of, you can turn a tap sort of thing. And
because that picture makes it look as if he's like surfing out in the ocean, but believe me, he's not. But for me, it's more like, Harry, these stunts don't work anymore. They don't work. You're 40 years old. You're a nasty little guy. You've been utterly revolting to your dead relatives. You've been utterly revolting to your living relatives. You've been utterly revolting to your relatives battling cancer. You're not cute. You're not quirky. It doesn't work for me anymore. I'm sorry.
No, of course it wouldn't. Of course, that's what people got fed up with. They've just had enough of it. And of course, Meghan has just come out with saying that she's tremendously good friends with the woman who made her dress. But now she works for Uniqlo. This is a sort of Japanese shop that is very casual and very good coats and jumpers and all that. And she wears lots of those things. And she's only released it a day or so ago, because I thought this was her desperate effort to take notice away from the king and queen and say, well, she's got a marvelous friend. But actually, who cares? Who cares? She said she's got lovely things and they're so marvelous for the winter. So she's obviously trying to sell herself to them as well. But on the other hand, I mean, is that really what we want to hear? That one can surf and the other one has got a good friend in the design world?
No, they're increasingly desperate, and I think Tina Brown was completely right to point that out. I really do.
Yeah.
I loved Tina Brown's analysis, actually.
She can be quite nasty about the royal family. I know, because I spent some time with her when she was doing a biography of Diana, because I'd done about Diana's life before she got married and all that. And so, we had a couple of hours talking, and she was very sort of keen on absolutely getting the truth. So, I mean, this isn't unusual for her. It's just that she's not frightened of saying what she thinks. And she does so very articulately, doesn't she?
She does. Well, look, let's just have another listen to what Tina Brown had to say.
Does Harry remain in the US? And will he be married to Meghan in 10 years?
I think he's pretty much in the thrall of Meghan.
Yes.
The trouble with Meghan is that she has the worst judgment of anyone in the entire world. I mean, she's flawless about getting it all wrong. I mean, she just is
a perfectionist really about it.
She's a perfectionist about getting it all wrong. It's like every time I think, finally, when she got WME involved, her issue is that she doesn't listen to all these people. The reason they all leave is because she does not listen. She hires all these people, asks them their opinion, and then doesn't follow it. She does what she wants to do. And all of her ideas are total crap, unfortunately. And he, because he's so naive and sort of really unschooled in the ways of the world, I mean, honestly, being Prince Harry means, I mean, I doubt if he ever booked a table in a restaurant. He's totally... the army was great for him, and he was extremely good and competent in there. That really helped turn him into a real person. But he really, he's a lamb to the slaughter. He's the lamb to the slaughter in this situation. I mean, he was terribly impressed by Meghan. He thought that she knew all. She persuaded him that she was the savvy Hollywood wheeler dealer, who could come in and make them stars and all the rest of it. And he just sort of blindly followed her like a child, really. And unfortunately, she made every mistake in the book, and she's kind of run out of road, actually. I mean, I don't know where Meghan goes.
Yeah.
Actually, Meghan was never a sophisticated Hollywood type. She ran a very minor lifestyle Instagram page called The Tig, and she had a very minor show that she was in. I know Suits is a big deal now, but it was never a big show. She didn't win Emmy Awards. She hadn't been in big movies. So I think he was a lamb to the slaughter, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I don't quite think that. I think he's scared. I think he did fall in love with her totally and quickly, and decided that she was the one. And don't forget that his mother, Diana, who she still says is looking down on him, that she told him this was the right. And I mean, he's said that she said it, and he said she would be jumping up and down with glee. So I think he's frightened, not to do what his mother says, however strange that may sound now, but also that he does love her desperately, but however cruel she is to him, that he's frightened, because also he's against the family, who they didn't actually support him later on, and he'll have nothing. It's between a rock and a hard place, as they say. He's just scared, and I think all the amount of help he's had hasn't worked, because he's had too much.
Yeah, I mean,
keep on having mental health issues.
No, and the thing is, he has created his own bad luck. This is on him. That is my view. She manipulated him, but he allowed himself to be manipulated.
Yes, I mean, that's terrible. It's too terrible for words to allow somebody to smash you up, really.
No, indeed. Now, look, Angela, I want to talk to you about King Charles and Queen Camilla's visit to Australia this week, because I actually thought that the mainstream media got their coverage of this tour completely wrong, because they keep on wanting to say it's a flop, everyone's turning on the royal family, and that's because of things like the Lydia Thorpe protest and someone graffitiing on a Queen Victoria statue, for example. But they were nutters. Actually, Angela, my vibe about this tour, and I was actually really shocked to see it, is that there was lots of positivity. In fact, there was almost a buzz akin to 1983. Do you remember when King Charles was in, sorry, he was then Prince Charles, of course. Prince Charles was in Australia with Princess Diana and a young Prince William. Now, if you think I'm exaggerating, if you're watching, I've just picked out a couple of the videos from early on during the tour, because I think it really shows that sort of love and energy in the air. First though, have you ever wondered what happened to the legendary Chuck Norris? Well, I recently saw a video he made and I was shocked. He's in his 80s and still kicking butt and working out and staying active. What's even more shocking is he's stronger, can work out longer, and even has plenty of energy left over for his grandkids. He did this by just making one change. He says he still feels like he's in his 50s. His wife even started doing this one thing too, and she's never felt better. She says she feels 10 years younger. Her body looks leaner, and she has energy all day. Chuck made a special video that explains everything. Make sure you watch it by going to chuckdefense.com/outspoken or by clicking in the link in the show notes below this video on YouTube and Rumble. It will change the way you think about your health. Once again, that's chuckdefense.com/outspoken and click on the link in the description below to watch the video now. You simply will not believe how simple it is. Just a reminder, the legendary Chuck Norris is a whopping 84 years old, and I have to be honest, he has more energy than me. He discovered he could create dramatic changes to his health, simply focusing on 3 things that sabotage our body as we age. So watch his method by clicking the link in the description box below, but I'll give it to you now as well, chuckdefense.com/outspoken, or you can also scan on the QR code on screen right now. Back to the show. Do you know the point that I'm making?
Yes, I mean, you could feel it actually. And the Australian press were absolutely positive about them and adored them. And I think that they cared very much that he'd made the trouble to come all this way over and stop his cancer treatment because he loves Australia so much. And he has this charm. Straight after the late Queen Elizabeth died, he decided to go to Germany and France. And that was all set up, and off they went. And people thought there was going to be a lot of argument about the European way that we were behaving. And they loved it. They adored him, and they had a very happy time. And I think a lot of it's thanks to Camilla, because she knows him exactly, and they work brilliantly as a pair. And they both promised King Charles that they wouldn't go on and try and fight with each country anymore. They're going to leave it, and they're very grateful. And I think he has this charm. I mean, I spent a year with him a few years ago, and he is very, very charming. He cares about people. He makes very good jokes, not silly ones. And he really wants to know how you are and how you feel. And his great joy is actually talking to people, even if it's for a couple of minutes. He likes to know what people are thinking and how they are. And that's why he found it so difficult to be stuck in Buckingham Palace or Windsor without being able to do anything. So I think he's got this charm, and you could see it building up. And I was told there was about 15,000 people there our morning before they flew off, wanting to see them. I mean, that is amazing. I know.
It was incredible. Well, I've got these church videos now, and it was these church videos that actually sparked my initial view of, wow, this is a real success. So I've got a couple of, they're just very short, but I think they're very indicative. So let's have a look now.
Yeah, that was Sunday, wasn't it? That was Sunday when they went to church.
In public. But anyway, I've got a couple more. Have a look at this. And then what's lovely, Angela, is seeing some of the videos that members of the public actually filmed themselves of Charles and Camilla on that day. So I got one of those too.
Hello, so nice to meet you.
I really like the tie. It looks like it. Well,
Sweetheart, thank you. We love the king.
Very kind.
So nice to meet you.
I'm sorry there wasn't room for you in the church.
Oh, we love the king.
We
love the king.
Thank you.
We love the king.
Very nice to see you. Oh no, beautiful.
Where is she?
Hello.
Hi Camilla, how was the flight?
I love you. How are you? Welcome to Australia. Lovely to see you. How are you? Very nice.
And Angela, it just got better from there.
It
I mean,
did.
there were so many crowds all around the beautiful landmarks in Australia. So why?
It's very
my question-
moving, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's very, very moving. Oh, this
and
is
my
hilarious.
question to you
That's
is
a
why?
nature
Oh yes, sorry, you go.
crown.
Yes. So what happened
Yeah.
there?
That was a nature crown you've just passed.
Yes.
And it had bark and flowers. And they showed it to her because this was a natural crown. And she said to King Charles, "What do you think?" And he said, "You look lovely." And it was really sweet.
Joanna Lumley came.
Yes, she's got she's playing at the theatre there. So it was just a chance that she
Look
was.
at those
she was
pictures.
there.
Honestly,
There we are. There it is. That's
got it.
that's the nature crown. Very funny. She's a good sport, the Queen, and she'll do all these things and laugh
Totally.
and
But look,
make it.
on the sort of political point, though, Angela, I think the media, the mainstream media, got this wrong again because they're trying to say, "Oh, this is Charles's farewell tour." I'm not certain, because he's gone down so well with the public there. I just don't believe that there is going to be this big push in Australia for a republic. Look, I'm not there,
No.
but I think this has been a big success actually for the royal family.
Yes, they've already decided not to do that. They said that trying to even think about losing him is the 99th thing on 100
Exactly.
must be done things. They're not interested in doing that. And today, I think that it was said there were 52 people who thought he was wonderful and 23 who weren't interested. Not that they didn't want it, but they weren't interested. There was, it's so sweet. There was a 71-year-old who flew in from the Philippines to see the king. And she managed to kiss him on his hand and say, I say to somebody there, "I love him so much and I will pray for him every day."
And there was a lovely moment, Angela, when someone in the crowd said to Charles, "Can you stay for longer?" And his response was so adorable. He said, "My doctors won't let me." And I thought, what a lovely way just to acknowledge, I'm loving it here. I'd love to be here longer, but God, I've got to go back for more chemo. I thought the trip was pitch perfect, actually. But Andrew, I want to move on to Catherine and William because why is Catherine, the Princess of Wales, not wearing her engagement ring, but rather this thing that is called an eternity ring? And we saw this when she was out in Southport. What's going on there?
Well, it's actually 100% positive.
Okay.
And a lot of women do that. They're used to their engagement ring, but they've grown out of that really and into being married. And an expert, jewelry expert from Diamonds Factory said that it speaks volumes about her relationship with William without actually uttering a word. And these eternity bands they don't call them rings, represent her relationship with him, surpassing several major milestones. And it's a show of love and commitment.
Oh,
that's
okay. So it means things are going very well with
and
William.
they're in love more than ever.
Oh, lovely. And also lovely this week, you're going to have to tell me about the kids, because is it true that Princess Charlotte has suggested, I mean, I know she's very young, but has suggested that she might want to be a nurse?
Yes, she has. She wants to help people. Now, she's an incredibly efficient, very bright, and absolutely delightful young girl. And she's decided that she wants to help people. I think she'd do marvelously well. I think she's looked after her mother. If you could see how she is with her mother, she watches her, she keeps an eye on her, and she's there giving her warmth and love. And she decided that that's what she wants to do. She wants to help people. George, however, doesn't want to serve in the armed forces, we find, and he wants to be a chef because he wants to cook pizzas. And I think that's lovely too.
I
think it's
have
so
a feeling
nice.
he might change his mind. He might change his mind.
Yeah,
on
I'm
that.
sure he will, don't we all? But I think it's so nice that they let this leak out, and you see that they're really they're just like children. It's just like children, not sort of pompous and things like that. Whereas actually most children of that sort of age, well, certainly the girls will want to be a princess, but the princess has already got that, so she'd rather be a nurse. It's all the way that kids operate. Very, very sweet, very, very nice.
And Angela, William has been focusing on his passion to end homelessness in the UK, obviously something that Diana was very, very big on, and he attended this event looking very suave, actually, in a velvet tux. But you think he's doing great work with this homelessness campaign?
Well, I think he's doing great work, but I'm just wondering who are going to get these houses when they're finished. I feel somehow that it wants to be ours in our country with our people, and I don't know whether he will be offering them just to UK citizens and ex-military people, or whether it's going to be open for asylum seekers. And I think
because then it becomes you've got to admit, Angela, at that point, given where the UK public is at, then it becomes a very controversial issue.
Yes.
And he'll be wanting to avoid that, I imagine. But then,
well, I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there are a lot of people who need a house, and he's seen so many now who don't have anywhere to go, and that's his main aim, isn't it? And he wants to do that for his
He wants
mother
to
too.
eradicate homelessness altogether. And the problem is, without wanting to get too political at the end of the show, Angela, but the problem is, because so many illegal immigrants are flooding in to the country, and this isn't just something experienced in the UK, but of course it's very much happening in the UK. That's one of the reasons why there is such a lack of homes. And so, yeah, I can see it becoming a bit of a political hot potato, but what I love, the positive side of it for me, is that this is the way that he wants to continue Diana's legacy, rather than what his younger brother is doing, which is just talking about Diana all the time and almost trashing her legacy. I just love that William is about action rather than words.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you.
Okay, well, that's a good positive note to end on then, Angela. Thank you so much. Absolutely wonderful. Angela Levin is, of course, our royal mastermind, the biographer of Prince Harry and Queen Camilla. Thank you, Angela, and we will speak next week, if not before. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.